With summer blockbuster season now just a distant memory, we are all now full swing into Oscar movie season. Can you believe it? There are already some major contenders in theaters already, with some pretty stiff competition on the way. Joining us now is Rotten Tomatoes senior editor Gray Drake. And Gray, good to see you.
Hello.
Okay, so it hurts me to know that we're completely past summer this far along, and we're talking about the Oscar contenders.
That's right. Say goodbye to your popcorn flicks and say hello to 2-3 hour run times.
Yeah, with subtitles.
Yes.
So I know, like a little early on, there were many other movies that were getting some Oscar buzz that came out this fall. But what are we hearing about now?
Well, there's so many good films this year. I think it's going to be really hard. It's going to be actually maybe an interesting award season, right?
Okay.
Because you've got movies came out a little while back, like The Martian. Everybody was really impressed. Bridge of Spies, Steven Spielberg, an Oscar magnet. But there's also,
and Tom Hanks.
Of course. There's also movies like The Danish Girl.
Okay.
People haven't seen yet, and this is a huge movie because it's incredibly timely, where Eddie Redmayne is playing Lily Elba, who is she's a transgender pioneer. So it's a topic that's in our news, and a movie that deals with this issue with great sensitivity, and it's something that we should all be watching at the movies. This is our world, and it wasn't back in the early 1900s.
So Eddie Redmayne plays a transgender in this movie?
Yep.
Okay, and I think this has been through like the festival circuit. It's been getting a lot of buzz.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, you know, Eddie Redmayne is so extraordinary.
Exactly.
And Alicia Vikander is also in the film, and we've seen her in movies like The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and she's always great, but there's something about this film that's so beautiful that I think it's really going to capture the attention of all the voters.
Okay, Danish Girl, and that's coming out
later this month.
Later on this month. Okay, what else do we have?
Well, there's something that I think is going to be a really, really big contender during awards season, but I think some people are going to argue with me. So are you ready for this?
Okay. Are you referring to any movie that stars Ryan Reynolds? Because I'd definitely argue with you then.
Thankfully, I'm not. We're saving him for a whole other segment. Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Get out of here. You're just saying it because you're here.
I'm so excited about it.
You're at the mothership.
But you know what? I think that it's going to get a lot of awards because it's a lot like Lord of the Rings. It's fantasy. It has a whole bunch of stars in it. I think that there's so much momentum behind it. Like, everybody's excited. Even the old white male Academy voters are excited for Star Wars.
Well,
right?
then it's done.
So I think that it's going to win technical awards. I think that we'll see it actually pop up a lot more than like we've ever seen Star Wars mentioned at the Oscars before.
All right, so your pick for Best Picture right now, let's put it down. Her pick for Best Picture 2016 is Star Wars.
Jar Jar who, okay?
All right.
And I do want to make an official call for screenwriting, by the way.
For that?
Yeah, for this award, not for Star Wars, but for Steve Jobs. I'm calling it. It's going to win.
For screenwriting?
Done deal.
Because there are a lot of people also who are saying that this is fantastic, and that Fassbender, of course, can do no wrong these days. So obviously he'll probably get a nomination for Best Actor.
I think so. And
in a crowded field.
That is one of the finest screenplays that I think counts as adapted and exceptional. It's one of the most exciting movies I've ever seen, where all people do is just talk.
Gray Drake there, senior editor, of course, from Rotten Tomatoes. You're watching World News Now.